But here, Patrick is kind of soft launching the idea that this could have been him because he's like, yeah, it wasn't me because my last account on that website was like 20 years ago. You know, it's been at least over 2 decades since I was writing freaky shit on that website. To which is like, whoa, okay, so he's first admitting that he's had an account on a website like this. Like that alone is huge evidence, but let's keep going. Let's see what else he fesses up to in this live stream. Now
Hey man, say man, we added another day, man. Yes, Lord, it is the man, OT the God, back at it again with another reaction. And in today's reaction, we are going to be reacting to TikTok's pedo dad admits to everything. Video by Grim. Shout out my boy, Grim. He be having that shit. No cap. But let's get into it.
To be completely honest, I was really close to telling the truth until the Literotica account was found. You know what? Fuck it. Honestly, yeah, I created the Ariel account. I made that account.
Patrick, thank you. You have been set free, man. You're set free.
what's good, homies? Welcome back to Grim. I'm a little sad because I really did not want to have to make another video on these people, aka Dad and Daughter Dream Team. If you missed my first video on them, I highly recommend you go click that if you're at all confused on this situation.
We did that
I'm
last
gonna start
time.
things off with a little bit of a recap, thanks to a comment on Reddit that I found that's super helpful for catching you up to speed. But as you just saw in that intro, some crazy shit's gonna get admitted to in this video. So make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe before we get into it. And without any further ado, let's get in on the updates of this despicable TikTok family that flat out just gives us all the worst vibes. Like, there's no way around it. I am utterly grossed out by these people, as are all of you, I'm sure. So since we last checked in with these freaks, Sarah has apparently moved out of her house after all the backlash that has happened on the internet from people like me, people on other communities. Hell, their Snark subreddit has blown up since they've you know, started to get exposed for how creepy they are, or more importantly, Patrick,
bonafide, certified.
Sarah had to move out, and Patrick says this in a TikTok comment. Sarah was pretty much forced out by the bullshit. She thought if she gave everyone what they wanted, maybe they would back off. But for the record, we really aren't struggling financially, he says, despite them literally living in Regent motels. But okay, we live where we live, hotels, because we are comfortable, not because we have to. I'll touch on this more in a video, which, that's right, Patrick is back to making videos. He said, no, you know what, I'm gonna pull a Cody Co. I'm actually not canceled. I'm just gonna get right back into it, all right? And the internet kind of went with it. Sadly, that's really the meta when you get canceled nowadays. Just pull that shit. Honestly, most people give more time away, but Patrick was like, you know what, it's been like 3 weeks, I'm coming back. But that is not really the meat and potatoes of what we're getting into. So when he's not defending her in the comments, or, you know, reposting her videos of her wearing TikTok dresses that are extremely skin tight, I hope you can understand how much fucking distress I'm in when I talk about this stuff. This is so creepy. But when he's not doing that, he's acting like everything's normal. Now, this Redditor, shout out to them, not_anyone123, made a very nice comment to kind of get us all up to speed on the things that have happened since my video, things that happened during my video. Don't worry, we're getting to the spicy part, but you need this for good exposition, you know what I mean? And they say there's a lot to it. December 2024, Sarah posts an AI song from an account called Miss Ariella Brigmon. As we know, that's their made-up fantasy character that they have in their dumbass AI novel they make. Ariella is an obvious AI account. Sarah is the only person to post this song, and people see that their family all follows this account on Instagram. Their family is also liking most posts by this account. Kind of odd. And that's where the first connection to Ariella was made. I talked about it in my last video. Again, check it out if you're confused. But then people uncover a Reddit, a fan view, and an X account of the same name that's all that type of content. It's a bunch of AI generated corn, basically. as well as that Venmo that I'm pretty sure I showed in the last video that has a picture of Sarah and Patrick's book starring Aliala Brigmon on the cover. And that Venmo also has the exact same zip code of where they're known to live. I blurred this out, obviously. I don't want to be doxing them, even the state they're from, even though it's pretty much public knowledge because these people never shut the hell up. A couple of months ago or so, I'm guessing they meant, someone uncovers a Literotica account that was created before Sarah posted the first video for Miss Ariala. That's going to be a huge, important detail coming up here in the future as we get into Patrick's confession. But on that Literata account is all dad and daughter stories, like really sick stuff. There was also some mom-son weird shit too. And they also noticed that the emails that are associated to Patrick that you can find using, various, lookups are already in use when you plug it into Literotica. Now, none of my emails are that way, at least not unless someone made a fake account and started making really specific content about stuff that's happened to me in my real life, like Patrick. Oh God, no, obviously these are his accounts, but we're gonna have even more details to come that really prove that, as well as him admitting kind of halfway to them existing. But maybe one day after this discovery, the account was deleted completely, and they deleted their account, and Patrick has been gone since then. Obviously, this post was made before he came back. But again, shout out to Not Anyone 123 for this recap. And now we're gonna get into the real shit that we're gonna get into. There's no other word for it. So Hannah, who was in my last video, seems to be kind of spearheading the movement of trying to get Patrick to talk about this stuff because he was off the face of the internet for a little bit. Now he's back, wants to share his story. There's a lot of mixed information out there, a lot of hearsay. So Hannah is here to clear it up. I posted the link to this full stream down in the description below. It's about a little over an hour, so go through it if you'd like. I'm more taking out the real important part of this, but shout out to Hannah for conducting this interview, and let's just get into it.
I never heard of the Literata account because apparently they were writing stories, and I had been off Literata long before that account.
Rent a car from our newest fleet yet.
I need a break.
Never has to know.
Because that was like 20 years ago. I was on Literotica. So
yeah, not only that, but 12 years ago, Hunter was 3 and I was 12.
Right.
So,
I had no idea about that account whatsoever. It literally took me off guard.
I'm sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, first of all, sorry about the audio. There's a lot of echo on Hannah's part. Somebody just screen recorded this, and that's the upload that I'm watching. So the audio is not perfect. I'm giving you a warning. But here, Patrick is kind of soft launching the idea that this could have been him because he's like, yeah, it wasn't me because my last account on that website was like 20 years ago. It's been at least over 2 decades since I was writing freaky shit on that website. To which is like, whoa, okay, so he's first admitting that he's had an account on a website like this. Like that alone is huge evidence, but let's keep going. Let's see what else he fesses up to in this live stream. Now you're gonna see Hannah as being oddly supportive of this guy. I've seen a lot of comments in the Snark subreddit as well as other discussion on TikTok about how oddly supportive Hannah's being. And look, I'm not a master debater or interviewer, but I got to imagine you have to try to kind of appease the other party in order for them to really spill the beans and spill their guts about all the crazy bad shit
Police do it all the
into,
time.
you know what I mean? So
police do it all the time. In interrogation, they're gonna make it seem like they're your best friend. They're not. They don't give a damn about you. Honestly, they want you to tell everything you know so that they can lock your ass up as long as possible. Do your homework.
This kind of feels like, to me, Chris Hansen in his interviews, sometimes he kind of sounds a little bit like an ally to these guys when he's not, obviously. He's diametrically opposed to them and everything they're doing, but you have to kind of, get these people to open up, and by doing that, you have to be nice to them. So I think that's all Hannah's doing, but I wanted to give you a warning before we get into more of it, because there are some definitely weird parts that even I'm pretty sure Hannah herself has admitted she would have done differently, but when you're in the heat of the moment and you're having this crazy interview, can you judge her? Not really. And if you think you can do better, I'd love to see it.
It's hard, and I just hope that you can see why people are really skeptical over everything.
Hannah is probably a therapist.
You came out and you said straight up, listen, and because this is my belief and a lot of others, especially with the Ariella. If it's hard to tell the truth, and the truth is you really just, or somebody that you know, made that account really just for money, I think a lot more people would be like, take a breath and be like, shit, okay, like, I get it, right? We're living in hard times. the world is crazy.
Not
People
me
are trying to
either,
find
bro.
ways to make income. Like, that would be more believable, and people could actually have respect and probably back off of that.
I'm sure they could. But at the same time, honestly, I told you I would be completely honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about a long time ago. I thought about just saying it was us just to get people off of our back. But at the same time, I don't want to express something that's not true.
A lot to unpack there. So Patrick is saying, look, there's been parts of me that
It's
wants
true.
to just fess up to this all, but I can't admit to a lie. When in reality,
It's
we all
all
know
facts.
you're not lying if you admit to this, bro. Like, please, just come clean.
We
just
know.
fucking announce it. But anyways, Hannah's trying
You
to be
look
like, maybe there's an
guilty,
angle where like you
buddy.
are really hurting for money, trying to support your
Brother.
family with this weird, type
Sister.
content that obviously would make money on the internet because there's a lot of fucking freaks out there with, large amounts.
You look weird, brother, sister. You're bona fide, certified, creep.
Stop it. Get some
They're
help.
going to spend on their freaky shit that they want to watch. But that isn't enough for him. And they go on with this interview for quite some time. Literally the first hour is Hannah just relentlessly trying to get through to that next level where they're going to
daughter-
admit to this
oh.
stuff. And Sarah's just over here on the
His honey
side trying to
bun
like,
face.
encourage her dad, but he's really not saying much for the first hour until we reach the inflection point where I think all of it just piled up too much for Patrick. He feels this immense weight on his chest and he admits something that we've all known deep down this entire time.
I just think if you're just honest about this, people will finally be like, oh my God, thank God. Like, here we are, the truth. Like, people will start to trust you. You
He
want
look
that, right?
guilty, man.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Honestly, you know what? Fuck it. Honestly, yeah, I created the Ariella. I made that account.
Patrick, thank you.
Of course
You
he
have
did.
been set free, man.
Of course
You're
he did.
set free.
Bona fide, certified,
Doesn't that
creep.
feel good?
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Damn.
Sarah, give your father a hug.
I really
Give that man a hug, because that is the most. I'm not a grifter.
Wait a second. Pause just a minute. 42.
Oh my God, bro. So Patrick, in a flurry of emotions is the only way I can describe it, admits that the AI account of Ariella was his. Now he makes a very specific, addendum or amendment, I guess, to that. I really am terrible at English. You guys fucking know this at this point. He makes an amendment to this saying that he made the AI account of Ariella that was making songs, specifically the song that Sarah was dancing to, that allowed them to make this connection to, their family. But he did not make the Literata account. He's very, very adamant about that, which is weird. To me, this feels like somebody who is trying to give us crumbs of the truth and trying to tell us. It's like how the government would have to explain to us that there's aliens. They would never come out and say there's aliens roaming the, our observable universe. They'd say, oh, there's some clues that this might be happening, and then that would lead to something else that they announce. It's the same way where he's trying to like ease and like soft launch his way into
Like, we
admitting
don't know
that this was
you're
him.
bona fide
Because if he
certified
admits
creep.
heinous stuff in little
we can't
increments in
see
his
you.
mind, his very small brain, he thinks that that's better for some reason.
Pause,
Like, we
Granddad.
can't see you a bona fide, certified creep.
Buddy, you're weird.
I see it with my good eye. Look now. Bona fide, certified, stankified creep.
But no, that's not the way this works. Also, we do not believe you, bro, at all. But he says that, he admits it, he starts bawling his eyes out or kind of fake crying. I haven't seen a real
Fake
tear.
crying.
I think he's really trying to play that sympathy card because he's obviously mastered manipulating people. He's been manipulating Sarah her whole life and his whole family. But it's just despicable that he's trying to admit this. But
Been
don't
up since
worry,
4.
we have some evidence coming up that completely disproves his timeline of events, saying that basically his explanation is a fan made this account for them to try to get them exposed. So they went through this whole thing of, finding his email, signing up with his email, somehow confirming the account, which we're going to get into. You have to log in with your email to verify your account. But they made this to expose them at a time that nobody had eyes on them. time on the internet. I mean, Sarah and Patrick's TikToks were getting like hundreds of views, maybe. And he's saying they had haters already that were doing this malicious shit. Then also explain why were the stories and the account deleted the day after it got exposed. You'd think if somebody finally had their like crazy elaborate troll for this very small lolcow family, like, you know, shown to the masses, they would probably start writing more stories that felt even more connected to Patrick. You know what I mean? Like, try to get in the mind of someone who would do that. They wouldn't shut down the account the next day. That just does not add up at all. And there's so many parts of this story that don't add up. Patrick is clearly just not smart enough to, you know, even try to swindle us normal, functioning brained people outside of his family. And it just blows my mind he thinks he's getting away with this BS. That's the funniest part to me.
You do not look 32, Hannah.
I know, people tell me that all the time.
You look way younger than that.
Yeah, 32.
The glaze is unreal, bro.
Facts. I'm like, what we not gonna do?
You're good.
I do just want to say
What we not gonna do?
Pause.
What we not gonna do is tell. I ain't saying Hannah don't look good, but come on now, you OD. You overdoing it. Overrated as fucking nightmare.
Sent some really nice messages. Thank you. You didn't see it, but a lot of people in the messages were saying God forgives, and you did amazing.
It's not God I'm worried about.
What are you worried about? Reddit?
No, everybody on the internet.
People have done worse, Patrick. People have done worse. So you take a deep breath, take a nice hot shower tonight.
So then we got Sarah absolutely glazing the interviewer, trying to move past this very intense bombshell that they just dropped on the entire chat. I mean, literally, their snark subreddit that's talking about all this stuff has skyrocketed since this happened a few days ago. And it's just so funny they immediately go to the God stuff. Like, he's worried because God won't accept him, but I'm sure he'll forgive him if he just asks. Like, okay, that might be the case, bro. But yeah, for right now, while you're on this plane with us, you gotta worry about the rest of the internet hating your guts and knowing you for what a monster you are. Like, that's worse than any other, you know, eternal damnation you might face in your head. Like, I'm talking about the here and now, bro. You are cooked.
Good steps, Patrick. Hello.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. That account was supposed to be like, an Instagram account that was a model, and then it got out of control when Sandview came into it. And that's one of the reasons why I deleted it, not just because Reddit found it.
So again, the audio is really rough here, but he's saying originally it was just supposed to be an Instagram account, and then he made a fan view account, which apparently is kind of like an OF, but not. Seems like one of those places people who want to do an OF but don't want to show too much would go to get people to pay the same amount of money for like basically glorified Instagram posts. Either way, he was going to do that with an AI model, which is already weird as hell. And throughout this whole interview, he talks about his past with addiction to different types of internet porn, so to say, the vegetable.
Bona
There's just
fide,
so much that lines up that proves to me this
spankified.
guy was, you know, the head
We
of
knew
this
that.
account, but he thinks he's fooling us.
Because it was weighing heavily on his
And
heart,
look,
because it was
I ain't
like,
saying,
you know, that kind of stuff is not what Christians do.
I'm not judging nobody who get their rocks off. There's nothing wrong with that. Perfectly normal. But because I'm not one of them that believes that, you know what I'm saying, it's unhealthy, it damages your brain and all that. To me, it does the same thing that actual sex does. Your brain, not as smart. It's smart, but it's not as smart as you think it is. Let's just be honest. You can real deal imagine something in your mind and your brain will really think it's so real. You ever, this is totally off subject, but you ever fell asleep in class and had a dream that you was falling and woke up like real deal spooked like shit? Yeah, your mind ain't that damn smart. So with that being said, when you are getting your rocks off 2-3 times a day, even daily, brother, stop it. OD. Too much. Stop doing it every day.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now look, I ain't the master. I'm not the masturbation police and nothing like that. I'm just saying, that's not healthy. Anything in over excess is unhealthy.
Was weighing heavily on his heart. That's why he deleted it.
I said I'm
Good
just
man.
gonna take it as it comes.
But he definitely doing it 3, 4, 5 times a day. I got a cousin like that. I know it when I see it. No cap. That man is to her in his imagination. His own daughter.
Forward.
Yes. I said it.
And honestly, if people can't forgive me, I've got God to forgive me, and that's
Yeah,
all that matters.
we don't need people's forgiveness. The only one that matters is God anyway, so.
Well,
Oh,
sorry, bud.
brother.
I don't know if he's gonna forgive you either. Actually, according to his book, he's gonna, as long as you ask for forgiveness, which is wild to me. But regardless, that's pretty much the end of like the meat of the interview. We still have some crazy shit, so don't go anywhere. I'm still disproving his absolute mountain of lies. But yeah, that was the main chunk of it. He confessed on live while crying that he did create the Ariella Brigmont AI accounts. Now he claims that he didn't make the Literotica. It's very weird that that's the one account.
Pause,
Making
Granddad.
AI porn, bro. They got regular porn. Like, what the fuck do we need AI for? See, that's when that's them niggas that's doing it multiple times a day, multiple days a week. Like, it get to a point where you need artificial intelligence. Brother, you too far. Yeah, you too far gone. I can't save you. You're unsavable.
He
Jesus.
didn't make, but I guess you can decide if you believe him or
People
not.
are-
Before you make that
First
decision,
off, I
though,
thought it was goofy as hell to be paying for porn. It's free on the internet. I don't know. Like I said, I don't do that no more. I've been delivered. Like I said, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just when you overdo it. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely sometimes my wifey friend come to town, hey, man, boy. But like I said, that's not that often. But doing it it get to a point where you need AI, and he bona fide, certified, stankified.
this other
Free.
information that some of these crazy sleuths on
Patrick
Reddit
is-
that I'm
ugh.
terrified of ever
I'm
crossing
sick of
because
him.
how the fuck do
I'm
you
sick
guys
of
find
him,
this
I'm
stuff?
sick of Sarah, I'm sick
Check
of
out what they
wife.
found. Actually, wait, I forgot there's one more part of this live stream that's funny. Check this out.
Me, to be completely honest, I was really close to telling the truth until the Literotica account was found. And that scared the hell out of me.
Because he thought that people were gonna think that was him, and when he told
He
me
knew
that people had
that
a
we knew
Literotica
it
account,
was him.
he told me he was scared because he thought that people were gonna connect that with him, and because he knows he like can't write that stuff. That's what scared him, is because they thought it would be connected to him, and he knows, like we all know for a fact that he could never ever write that stuff.
We all know for a fact, as a family, even though Dad has had a troubled past with internet videos, we know that he did write that.
Like, shut the fuck up, please, Sarah. You know I'm on your side. You're a victim in this situation. Sometimes you just need to shut up. Please, please stop defending this man who has clearly gaslit you your entire life. Now on to some crazy stuff. So he claims that they took knowledge of this song, basically the timeline in Patrick's recollection of events. Sarah posts this TikTok on the right of this image with the song by Ariella Brigmont, and some keen viewer in the hundreds of views maybe at the time that they were getting saw this song, was like, this is connected to this family that's kind of giving me weird vibes. Let me take this exact story, plug in the character's name into Literotica, write a very detailed long story about a father and daughter, and hope that one day more than 100 people will watch their videos and also find this account and also link them, and then also make a snark subreddit, and then also put the dots together that maybe he wrote this. Like, we're supposed to believe that, Patty? Anyways, he claims that's what happened, but that doesn't quite line up with the story here, because as you can see, this story was posted on the 6th of January, 2024, and the first recorded use of this AI sound from Sarah was on the 16th. So unless that fan, or hater, I guess I should say, the troll, also had the ability to time travel, your story just doesn't make sense, Patrick. And as if you needed more evidence evidence. This other Reddit user, Rosebuds, says, without a shadow of a doubt, he created the literotica. I know a lot of people who are wondering if there's any chance he didn't. Logically speaking, no. There's no chance he didn't do it. The timeline, for one, no one knew about her until Sarah posted the video, which I just talked about, so I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. His excuse is that anyone could have used her picture since he was up that long, but genuinely doesn't seem plausible. The biggest piece of evidence, in my opinion, and this is a banger, is that both the Instagram, which he admitted to, and the literotica account had a link tree with the rest of her socials on there. And in order to link an account on Linktree, you have to prove that you own it by being able to log in. So there's literally no chance in hell that someone random could have linked the Instagram to the literotica account.
Pause.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I say there's no such thing as a smart criminal, but god damn it, this nigga is stupid. Why are you linking accounts in the first place if you on some creep shit like this? You making AI porn and you gonna link it to your actual...
Unless they had the email and password, which Patrick is a bit of a simpleton. I do think you could hack his password pretty easily, probably. So I guess maybe he could claim that's what happens. I'm sure that's going to be his next excuse. There's also a few similarities with the Instagram and literotica. On Instagram, she was from Rhode Island and played Monster Hunter. And in the literotica stories, she wrote about how she would play Monster Hunter while waiting for her dad to come home. And her location in that story was specified as Rhode Island. But they say, all right, I digress. Snowball's chance in hell it wasn't him. And I gotta agree, that is some solid fucking evidence. Now we get on to some hearsay, which, you know, would not stand up in the court of law, but don't worry, I'm not just going off a single data point that I'm about to tell you. Let's see this comment that's been circulating on their TikToks or TikToks about them, because obviously they would delete this user and block them if it was on their main page. So this user with the last name there that you're gonna want to remember said that was exactly what happened with Teresa. She went to work at McDonald's. I used to live with her and date her brother. She went to work. We used to take her to work and drop her off, pick her up, and all of a sudden she started talking about this guy named Patrick, and I guess she went to school with him. Okay, clearly this guy does not use periods, and he's just a run-on sentence machine. And before I found the other evidence that I'm going to show you after this, I took this as completely canon, because I'm sorry, the person that Patrick and his wife are, they would associate and only speak to people who type exactly like this. They are huge.
Hold on, let's finish. Patrick, and I guess you went to school with him for a short time, but she didn't know who he was. Huh? Okay, yeah. Who he was until she started McDonald's, and then she suddenly just moved out and wanted to be with him all the time. And her mother and her father tried to stop it, but there's nothing we could do because she was an adult. But she is slow. But she is a slow. She does things. Okay, am I slow? They fucking with me now. But she is as slow. She does things, has guidance and everything. My boy, you slow. And has to have. Okay, let's read it like a regular person. Because she was an adult, but she is slow. She does things. She does things and has to have guidance and everything. And he took advantage of her, and he still is. I've tried to talk to her, but she just won't come to her senses that Patrick's a bad person. And everything her brother has seen, and everything. Her brother has seen some of the videos that the Dream Team has put up there with his niece, and he is not happy. And everything, we've been trying our hardest to get Sarah and his brother and Teresa out of that situation. Who, brother? Brother.
Run-on sentences, and I don't feel bad saying that. It's just true. Okay, let's keep going. She went to school with him for a short
made
time,
my
but she
damn
didn't
head
know him
hurt.
or didn't know who he was until she started McDonald's, and then she suddenly just moved out and wanted to be with him all the time. And her mother and father tried to stop it, but there's nothing we could do because she was an adult. Again, we're talking about the mother here, Teresa, when she met Patrick and, you know, fell in love. But she is as slow. She does things, has to have guidance and everything, and he took advantage of her and still is. I've tried to talk to her, but she she won't come to her senses that Patrick's a bad person, and everything her brother has seen, some of the videos that the Dream Team has put up there with his niece, and he's not a happy camper. Who would be? And everything we've been trying our hardest to get Sarah and his brother, her brother, and Teresa out of that situation. We're hoping that Patrick goes to jail or something like that, because he is the way to get Teresa back up to Vermont, where she belongs, near her family. Now, you will probably be saying, Grim, you can't just believe any comment somebody posts.
So that mean they not cousins? I was wrong. I really thought they was cousins, G. They look similar to me. We can't say, oh, he took advantage of her because she's slow. I thought he was slow too. Are they not? Not slow. I mean, shit, they said it. Not me. But you know what I'm saying, man.
Internet, just because they use run-on sentences, that's no proof, okay? Even though this guy does seem to know a lot of details about them. Now, this Reddit user who posted this via CEU, this person right over here, they're goated. Look at this crazy evidence they found on the internet, Facebook specifically. So if you go to the following of this account that posted that comment, they're following Teresa's private account, who has almost nobody following her. She's on private. Clearly this is somebody that she would know in real life. We still got more evidence than that though. Here you could see that same person's Facebook profile blurred out thanks to this user, and Teresa, the same exact name, has been liking a lot of this person's posts. One of 6 people that liked it or interacted with it. And as you can tell, this is happening multiple times back in 2020. So I'm willing to believe this person actually knows what's going on with this family. And even from a very personal outside view, people are worried about this family and the damage that Patrick is doing to them. So yeah, that's pretty much all the evidence I have. That's the main update for now. Hannah is saying that there might be another interview. I don't know how much of that is just trying to gas up her page and stay in the algorithm. I really don't know. So I might be making another video on these fools, but take a shower after this one. And before that, let me know in the comments what you thought of this.
I don't know how much more I can take. I don't know.